new study that has some scientists raising concerns about our environmental health and its impacts on the human body. Over the years, microplastics, a word you probably started to hear more, they've been found in almost every organ in the body, as well as in the bloodstream. But now, for what seems to be the first time, these microscopic pollutants have been found in tissue in the human brain. NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar is here to explain what this new research means. This is one of those ones where you're like, I'm worried about it, don't think I can do anything about it, but you're going to tell me if I can. So let's first start with the information. It's a new study. It found microplastics in the olfactory bulb of multiple people, I understand, during autopsies.
Yes.
This is responsible, you kind of might remember this from bio or whatever, wherever you learn this.
Yeah.
It processes information, smell, things like that.
Yeah.
According to the study, does that mean we're breathing in these what could this mean?
Well, so experts are saying that this is a very reasonable concept, that the nose would be a portal of entry to the brain. As you pointed out in intro, there has been many of reports now that microplastics found in kidney tissue, liver tissue, placental tissue. There was an article in the spring that showed that people who had microplastics in the carotid artery, that that could increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. So what they are surmising here is that if you have inflammation in nasal passages, the microplastics, it's easier for them to get in. The olfactory bulb, if you Google it, it sits right here at the top of the nose, and it's basically a conduit to the brain. But now that we're taking it one step beyond what the information showed. It showed that it was in the olfactory bulb. I think the next step would have been to do autopsy on the brain tissue itself to see if there are microplastics there. And then the next leap, Savannah, is what does that really mean for human health, right? The concern is that it potentially could increase the risk for neurodegenerative disease, but we have zero evidence that that is the case at this time. So
Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to apostles of GMS, and it's sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity. And here is something going on, which I believe this is nothing new, especially since they decide to choose when they want to bring out stuff like this. But microplastics, which is supposed to have some over time long-lasting effects. Now, I remember hearing about this back in 2016, maybe 2018, when they talked about it a bit, but they swept it under the rug. So it wasn't heavily talked about like that. But to show you what microplastics do to the health, there's a list right here. DNA damage and endocrine and immune system disruption, neurological disorder, other health problems, such as microplastics can also cause low male fertility, metabolic disorder, attention deficit. So this goes to show you this is one of Esau's plans to, pretty much keep us from procreating, because killing us off ain't working. So why not mess with the food and all this other stuff? That's all. Like, this is one of the things that ain't really new. But when you fast forward into the things that might go worse to here, I was like, not worse, not might get worse, but will get worse from here. That made me think back when the elder told me that in the future you might need to wear a gas mask. Fast forward, that, mind you, that's before 2020, before the C crown hit. Now the C crown hit, people was wearing face shields and masks and all this other stuff. And with all the stuff and chemicals you got going on, especially in the air, it ain't far-fetched that people going to need those gas masks. Prime example from the game, which they eventually made it to a show now, Fallout. Fallout, you have to beware of radiation, how you inhale it, how you be around it, and you need disinfectants. This ain't far from it. Hell, back when the C crown was the big thing, disinfectant sprays was the big thing. So what more now, right? So I'll make this as quick as possible. This is 2nd Ezra's 15 and 49. It says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. And see, that's what you're going to start seeing a whole lot of. Pretty much all of this stuff. Widowhood is already there. Poverty is definitely here. Famine is definitely here. The sword, which is basically a lot of violence and death, already here. Pestilence, been here. We just wait for Esau to release all of them. Because he chooses what he want to release and what he doesn't want to release. Right? So the Lord is the one who sets up pretty much all these things. So whether this be the plastic thing, whether it be some type of chemical in the air, we know Esau is behind it. It's just the Lord authorized it. But Esau is constantly pumping things in the air. Them chemtrails, those are another thing. He'll pump it on the day before it has to rain. And and what he already does with the food and the drinks and all that other stuff is not hard to see with this place. Esau just running out of ideas, because even that's still not technically stopping us. It's actually more so harming his own people than it is ours. We just kind of used to it because we adapt so quick to environments. So that's why he can't really kill us off, because again, it's not only just us being able to adapt to environments, it's the Lord shielding even Israel in general until he decides to say, hey, you're going to die, you're going to suffer, or you're going to live. Just as simple. So this is Psalms 55 and 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. And the reason I brought this out is because he'll make it seem like these are supposed to be some good things to pretty much help people. He'll pull up some type of BS story that people will fall for. But the whole time is for Esau to pretty much stab him right in the back, because these people keep falling for the same trick. Of course, now you have some people waking up waking up from different parts of this, but they still fall in the category of the trap of Esau. Because just because they wake up out of one or two things doesn't mean they woke up out of all the rest of the things. That's where the truth comes in, where we completely separate ourselves. See, you have a whole bunch of people that don't, quote unquote, trust the government, but they love this place though. But guess who still runs this place? Or guess who's shielding this place? The government. Right under those rats. So they can hate the government, but guess what? They'll still take the handouts from working to all the benefits, the deals, the sales. People still fall for the same loop trap every time. So can't say the word. So a antidote to their problems, quote unquote, these people will line up to take it. So they come up with that antidote for this whole plastic thing. Guess how many people are going to line up to take it, not knowing full well, or knowing full well that they don't even understand how it works, but they'll believe how the social media work it. So here you have a society that's just all full of diseases, plagues, and all sorts of stuff, even plagues in the mind. And this is what you get, right? So now you got plastics, you got the sea crown, you got HIVs, all these other diseases. Well, let's go further. You have an island full of trash. They call it the Great Specific Garbage Patch. Did not know about that till the Occam actually pulled it up, and I wanted to look into it a little bit. And they call it. They said it's a collection of trash in the North Pacific Ocean that's sometimes called the 8th continent. You know that's pretty bad when you gotta open up another continent for trash. Let's open this up. They contains 1.8 trillion pieces of trash, mostly plastic, and 79,000 metric tons of ocean plastic. See, here goes this word plastic. So again, hearing about people having plastic inside of them is not, how should I say, is it's not something that wouldn't be believed. And now, even though it's funny enough, even the elder told me, and some other elders outside the truth was even talking about how they had glass. Now, when I was going to go back to this clip, she mentions it's better that you go back to glass. But where was this talk about this even prior to them? Because it was all about having plastics. Even when I'm at camp, they have a trash bin and then they got a plastic bin. Same thing when I go to the gym. They have a trash bin and a plastic bin. But where's the glass bins? You don't see no talk about no glass. You hardly even see them in the stores now. You might get a bowl from there, but you'll rarely see any cups. So that should tell you something, right? And here, this is also another thing that Aki pulled out, the space trash, right? Space junk. Let's see. I wasn't gonna go into all of this, but this just kind of had me thinking a bit. Let's see. Yep, they got a whole article about this stuff. So none of this stuff is being made up. It's like it. There we go. They're calling it space debris and all this other stuff. Yeah, they got, and then the ozone layer. The ozone layer is another one. What I mentioned, these chemicals all in the air. And it says here, yes, the ozone layer is polluted by human-made chemicals that deplete the ozone layer. So you got chemicals, trash. I mean, everything here is just nothing but a big chemical. So it's no wonder how great the fire is when this place actually gets caught in it. When the Lord released them nuclear missiles. See, it says the ozone layer is Earth's sunscreen protecting living things from too much ultraviolet radiation. So it says increase the. Sorry, I'm actually keep going. It says when the ozone layer is depleted, more UV radiation reaches the Earth's surface, which can increase the risk of skin cancer, damage eyes, the immune system, negatively impact animals and plants. So this is going to be a great time when this place is ultimately destroyed, because that radiation is going to be on a whole nother level. This goes to show you that Esau, for the people that blindly follows him, whether they trust in the government or not, they are screwed. But that's all I wanted to go into that, just to show the different things. And there's even more, but I wasn't gonna go into all that. But just to show how all these things add up, right? But Lord willing, this is edifying, and with that, shalom.